Right, here we are back on VP4TV, and we're in Virtual Pool 4 for a match in the Black Ball World Championship. This is the last of the round 2 matches, which was supposed to be, the deadline was today for this match, and I didn't think it was going to go ahead, and I've just came back to the VP4 lobby. Well, I wasn't out of the lobby, but I just came back to check what was going on, and this match has just started, and it's between, just get the cloth colour set, it is between Bankster, who, if I'm right in thinking, is from Kuwait, and Kristjan is from Estonia, and this is a race to 13. And well, as I say, I didn't think it was going to go ahead, but we are off and running, and Bankster is one rack in front and now has a free shot. Now, while this is going on, what I want to do as well is just a quick reminder of the schedule for today. We have this match, which wasn't on the schedule at all today, so they've obviously met up in the lobby and decided to get the game over with. But we do have 4 matches on the schedule for the Virtual Black Ball World Championship. So we've got Albinario against MC Clarkey. That's later today at 7:30 GMT my time, and that is a round 3 match. And also tomorrow afternoon at 5 PM we have Fast Eddie against Real Poland Power. That's Stub, of course, and that will be, I presume, a round 3 match as well. And that is going off at noon their time, or maybe even 11 AM their time, depending on where they are in the States. Excuse me, both of them, of course, are in the States, and that will be 5 PM my time tomorrow. And then after that, we have a couple of matches next week. We've got Cobra against Linus, which is going to go ahead on Tuesday. And unfortunately, at that time, it's going to be 9 AM in the morning when they play, where I will actually be at work at that time. And I won't be able to get. In fact, the time I get home, the match may well be over by that time anyway. And then, of course, the last match is LS3 against Semi-Pro, which is next Sunday coming at 7 PM. So those are the scheduled matches. Back to this one. Well, good afternoon to Wenny. Good afternoon to LS3. Like I say, I didn't know this was going to go ahead. I'm in when I'm in my day off, I'm usually in the VP4 lobby, but I'm not physically here because I was actually sitting downstairs having a nap after having had something to eat. I had a film on, and I decided to come up and just have a quick check and see what was happening, and then I discovered this match was on, so I thought I might as well get some coverage of it. So I'm glad of your company. I have high. What the hell does that mean? I have hydradenitis suppurativa, if you know. Well, maybe somebody can explain that to me. I don't know what that means. But anyway, we're 1 rack apiece. Bankster's chosen the reds, and as usual there's a problem, and well, he's chosen to get his red out, but in the process of doing that he's not only cleared the pocket by potting Kristjan's yellow ball, he's now given Kristjan a free shot. Is a painful long-term skin condition that causes skin abscesses and scarring on the skin. The exact cause of hydridentitis suppurativa is unknown, but it occurs near hair follicles where there are sweat glands, usually around the groin, bottom, breasts and armpits. No, it doesn't sound fun, but that's the great thing about Google, isn't it? Or Wikipedia, one of the two. But I'm sure there are creams for it. There's definitely going to be proper medication for it. Well, Kristjan's visit didn't last long. Having read the chat there, I missed what happened to him. Bankster here has, with this red he needs to get, well, he's actually missed the red into the side, but where he's put the cue ball was exactly where he wanted to be, because he had to get on that red to the left of the cue ball there to obviously combo over the one over the pocket, because it was going to be difficult to get good on that red. And Kristjan's back at the table, so he's now blocked that top pocket. So the combo can be played now, and he might try and get this cue ball into the yellow, which is well, he's looking at that red. See this red here, let me get my donut, that one there's now the problem. And had he sort of finished better on it, he would have had a better line to pot it. I mean, you can still pot it or get it in or over the pocket, but really now Kristjan's problem is, of course, how he clears this table. Now, you'd think that the best policy would be to leave this pocket open and try and drop the yellow in and finish behind the 8 ball to pot it down here, because the 8 ball doesn't really go past that red. And already there's just a bit too much messing about here from Kristjan, because he's had good opportunities here to get this rack done and dusted, and he's just allowing Bankster the opportunities to manoeuvre his problem ball here. And also, if he can get in a good line on that red, he can maybe get that red to follow the yellow in top right. So that's now again giving Kristjan a free shot. Now the first thing with a free shot would be probably to pop that yellow onto the red, get rid of the red as a free shot and keep the yellow ball there, and then try and clear the table. I mean, you see, the thing is, he's gone for ball in hand. I don't see why he went for ball in hand. He should have just popped the yellow onto the red. Or does he know that he can actually pot the red with a free shot or not? Because he should have done that. And of course, the other major disaster there is the fact that the 8 ball doesn't get into any of the top corner pockets. So that's another, that's another instance where a player's not thinking about what they're doing. And that's what really gets me annoyed when you watch players not seeing the most obvious shot in the table, and that was play that yellow onto the red, get rid of the red, open the pocket, and then go to run out the table. So Kristjan's had a number of instances with a free shot where he's actually made absolutely no progress with it at all. And this is a thing that Semi-Pro keeps going on about, and I'll go on about as well, because the players aren't thinking about what they're doing. I mean, Kristjan's going to end up losing this rack when he should have he should have won it 5-6 minutes ago with all this messing about. But that was really poor shot choice, and as I say, just not thinking exactly what the game's about and how to take advantage of that free shot. And there you go. So this is about missed opportunities here for Kristjan, the way I see it already, the way this match is shaping up. It's going to be all too easy for Bankster if Kristjan doesn't get his gameplay head on. and understand these rules. I have to question whether Kristjan fully understands the options that are available to him with that free shot, because anybody else who has a semblance of the understanding of the game would have potted that yellow into the red, thereby opening the pocket. So anyway, we'll see if Kristjan's going to improve. If he doesn't, he's going to get pasted here. And meanwhile, we've got Bankster on the reds. That's not going to get to a rail. So straight away, Bankster's been given a free shot. And Bankster can deal with the problem red, which is the one that he's going to play. At least I thought he was. I don't know that he wants to start bumping things off the red into the side pocket. He wants to deal with the one that's next to the yellow, but he certainly doesn't want to bump anything else like that. See, that wasn't a great shot either. You know, Bankster's at it just as much as Kristjan is, because he's just now created another mess. He's got rid of one problem but created another one in the same process, all because he's not, the players aren't just thinking, you know. And the great thing about any competition is thinking about what you're doing. And now it's went back to Kristjan, so this is a comedy of errors, what we're watching here. So Kristjan on the yellows, again with a free shot. And almost scratched. Let's have a look up top here. See, this yellow here can't be got at all. Well, I think he's in two minds as whether he's going to try and kick at that problem yellow and just stay up the top there, but I decided to start potting balls. So Bankster has the same problem with those two reds that are up by the yellow, because the yellow's blocking the path of certainly one of the reds. I don't know whether the other one goes clean on its own. Yes, it does. There'd be no harm in pushing that yellow in or over the pocket there, but one thing you've got to try and hope to do is have a way of playing the shot and getting to those two reds to open up the yellow. And that's a lot easier said than done, considering where Kristjan's two yellow balls are on the left hand side. Well, Bankster can either leave that red that's in the middle of the table just in front of him and try and control the situation up top left, which he's done now because everything's completely blocked. So Kristjan should maybe bank that yellow. If he can get the cue ball out of the way, try and bank the yellow across. He may well be moving balls doing that, but you've got to try and get those yellows out of there. Bankster's just trying to... It's a moving game at the moment. So Bankster's now opened up the table, but he's opened it up for Kristjan to win this rack, unless Bankster can get the red to follow the yellow in. Well, that's now created a problem for Kristjan. Well, Bankster doing the right thing there. That gives him control of the pocket. Good afternoon to Cold as Pillow. Unexpected match this afternoon. Didn't think this was going to go ahead. Well, Kristjan's got to block the pocket. Well, that's moved the red out of the way, but this rack's now all there for Bankster, unless Kristjan can try and do something here. I don't think he's... Well, he's managed to squeeze the yellow in. That's a surprise. And this is a thin cut. It will go though. It's off the rail. Now he needs to be able to see the black, or the 8-ball, which he is. Yes, I'll be doing the match later on tonight at 7:30 GMT. So hopefully I'll be able to go and get my dinner after this is over. So now 2 apiece. Couple of balls gone, still an open table. And this table isn't too bad. And looking at this setup here for Kristjan, I mean, these yellows are pretty good. Now I wonder if he can pot that yellow that he's looking at and go through and out and avoid colliding with the yellow. No, he couldn't, but he's okay though. He's collided it into a good position. And this is a good opportunity to take the lead here. Well, he's got to run quite a bit forward. He hasn't really run a bit forward here. I mean, maybe he was trying to hold it short like this, but he's going to... he seems to be in a bit of a hurry, Kristjan. He needs to just slow down a wee bit here. Sometimes players are so desperate just to get the shot over with, they don't really take the time and set themselves up. He is in an awful hurry, and again, that's never good. I mean, people Steve talk about playing in a rhythm, but I don't think Kristjan's at that level where they're the type of player that's going to be playing in a rhythm. I think Kristjan's at a level where he does need to just steady the ship a little bit here, and then get set to play the shot. Because if you don't give the shot proper attention, you're going to end up doing daft things. The Bankster's got work to do here, most certainly. Well, I think he can bank the left red and try and duck behind the other one, although he doesn't look as if he's playing it, but that's the shot. He's got to just try and get that red out of the way and avoid a double kiss and duck behind the other one. So, Bankster has done the right thing. And of course now, Kristjan has to hit his ball, which he can do. I mean, he can hit the yellow. It's not a problem hitting the ball. It's not leaving a shot here for Bankster, and that's going to be really difficult. And now, of course, he's done the ultimate mistake. He's miscued again. Just you see how he just jacked up there. He decided that was the shot he was going to play. Just jacked up, didn't prepare for the shot, and then, of course, didn't even think about the tip of the cue and miscues. I mean, these are all numpty things that are happening here for Kristjan. And I thought somebody said that he's played a bit with semi-pro, trying to improve his game. Well, if that's the case, then I'm blaming semi-pro for not talking him through a few of these things that he's doing wrong. But here we go. Kristjan now with a free shot again. It's a proper mess, this match. The amount of free shots that is going on. And of course now that's the big sellout. Well, anybody can win this match. But, you know, Bankster's still got to be the favourite. I think there's a possibility that he might do a bit more sensible things than Kristjan's been doing. I don't know. Maybe it's too early to make that judgment. But anyway, Bankster has a 3-2 lead. We've had the dry break from Kristjan, and again, this table has a problem up top. If you're going to be taking reds, but yellows have one. Well, now there's two issues. I think that yellow doesn't go past the 8 ball, and of course you'll get the other one that's stuck to the rail. So now red doesn't go into the side. And now Kristjan potting balls, but can't get to the 8 ball and has a problem down here with the 2 yellows blocking the pocket for the red. Well, as long as that yellow sticks by the 8 ball, then Kristjan may well be getting back to the table. The problem for Kristjan is he's more than likely going to be in trouble. Because Bankster can duck away right now if he wants. He can just dink the yellow that's on the bottom rail here and try and duck in behind the other one near the corner pocket. He's not doing it, he's doing it another way, but he doesn't want the ball to go in. And that's now got Kristjan in trouble. Although there is a path to hit this red, it should be fairly easy to hit. He needs to get the ball to a rail, which he's done. And of course, this time Bankster can deal with his problem yellow, and he can also duck up table here and use that 8 and yellow to block the red. But the yellow's gone in. So once again, what Bankster should be doing is just ducking away here and looking for the 2 shots, the free shot from Kristjan, so that he can deal with that problem yellow, and that's what he's done. You see, Bankster's got a thinking head on here, and again, that's not going to hit a rail. So In fact, tell a lie, it was a full snooker, wasn't it? That's why he didn't need to hit a rail. I just remembered that at the last second. So now, though, Bankster can deal with his yellow, and now he's fully committed. Well, I don't know that that yellow's finished too good here, though. He's going to have to thin cut the other one in, the one that's nearest the pocket, because I don't think it would combo. Now, the little stun. Ah, you see, he's got too much draw in it there. It was just a pure stun you needed there. He got too much bottom in the cue ball and he's completely missed him. Oh, that's a clever little shot though. That is nasty. That is really nasty. Practically stuck on the yellow. But Kristjan's got the hit. And that was a good effort to hit it. Well, again, Bankster may well have been trying to get a little nudge on the yellow there. He's missed it, but he can still nudge this in over the pocket. Oh, he's got it too soft. Well, that might be quite a big pocket for Kristjan to cut this red up the table. If he gets the line right, it's got to go in. But that's easier said than done. Well, that looks perfect to me. That's absolutely pure perfect. He's nailed it spot on. That was excellent. That was really good. Didn't even need the ball over the pocket. Well, we're back all square. Oh, the 8 ball's gone in. We've actually seen quite a few, I mean quite a number of breaks where the 8 balls ended up going in the pocket and then obviously you have to re-rack. We've seen more than I would have expected in the tournament. Well, this time it's a dry break, and well, if it's reds, there's one problem red. If it's yellows, there's that yellow will go in off the red, and that'll bump the red out the way, and that'll open up the pocket for the other yellow, and then you could deal with that yellow there. Now I don't know what's happened to Kristjan here. He may well be gone. There's no sign of life in Kristjan's queue. Bankster's wondering what's going on, but I think this is the same thing that we've seen with Stubb as well. And Steve thinks there's a problem somewhere in the system where we're getting this long drawn out period of time where we as a spectator, we see nothing happening here. Now, on Bankster's end, he may well still be potting balls, for all we know. And this is where we've had 2 incidents. One in this tournament, that one with Mark Shark and Stubb, and we also had a similar thing happen in that straight pool final that we had, the World Championship final, where Acero had a similar thing where he was gone. And then when the server loaded the game was totally messed up. It had gone back to like 20 minutes before and the scores were all messed. And Kristjan was only away at the door, that's all it was. Well, he might have typed, hang on a minute, somebody's at the door, and then we would have been wiser. Welcome to Brain Pull Out. So Kristjan's decided on the reds, and he's got that one problem up top. And now that's no good. I mean, he can he can pot that red and try and dink over below or above the red. He's hit it too hard though. He probably still would have been able to run that red up into the corner here, or down into the corner, had he potted that. Oh, that is a really poor shot there by Bankster. Really poor, because he set Kristjan up on the problem red. Oh, that was a disaster. Bankster's the one that's suffering from it. Well, I was saying that there's bound to be medication for it. There's bound to be creams, skin creams and stuff. Well, Bankster's tied up the red and yellow. Now, oh, just missed a hit. So here's Bankster in a situation with the free shot, and the ball that he's just tied up. He's going to try and pot this one and stun into the two of them again, I would imagine. No. Well, again, that shot there just has me puzzled, although Bankster may well be not confident enough that he was ever going to get out of here, because he would have tried to break those balls up. So Bankster just playing for position there, and I think that red ball there, I'd have been more inclined to bank the red ball back up the table here towards the other one to get the two of them fairly close together. That's what I would have done there, rather than just trying to get it over a pocket. I mean, the fact that it's over a pocket means nothing. As far as Bankster's concerned, because, you know, he's still got this issue along the bottom rail. The yellow doesn't go, and I think it would have been handier for Kristjan to get that red down amongst this end of the table here on the right hand side, because he may have been able to pot it. Oh, that's did everything but go into the hole. So now Kristjan is pretty much forced into potting his red. I think he did his best to just keep it out of the pocket, but if I'm Kristjan, I'm trying to get that red down close to this other one, with the possibility of potting the first red and bumping the red and yellow out to try and win the rack. He could have done that 2 shots ago and didn't do it. Now, this is where you have to have a strategy game in a few game types in virtual pool, and the 8-ball games are the ones where you do have to have a strategy, other than just trying to pot everything as you see it. Sometimes the table, well, a lot of times the table's no good, And here's Bankster now with a gilt edge opportunity, again with a free shot to get this rack done. And he's got to be out here. He's just wondering what way to go. Well, he's got to come out and get a good line on that last yellow that's up table to make it decent to get on the 8 ball, and that's not perfect. Oh, it's hung on the edge. So Kristjan now, same thing, just has to get this cue ball out, but the cue ball will come out a lot further. Oh, that wasn't great. And you know, that's a great chance to get the lead. You know, these are just basic pot and ball errors. The cue ball was always going to come out onto the 8 ball on that shot. Having said that, though, Bankster's not made his life that easy, but he's got it done. So there's another rack that's gone south for Kristjan. He was staring at the lead there, and now he's trailing again. Well, if you've been watching this for the start, Bedhead, there's too much numpiness going on. More so from Kristjan than Bankster. First of all, Kristjan's in too much of a hurry sometimes, not thinking about what he's really doing. Or I mean, it's apparent to me that's what it is. He might say otherwise, but in terms of strategy, some not too great a shot choices in a few instances, and a rack there that really Kristjan should have had in the bag. So Bankster has the lead, and we're still waiting on somebody getting that little chink of daylight. Bankster, having committed to the reds, has got an immediate problem now. He can draw back off the red. I don't know whether he can draw back and brush the yellow and try and get the cue ball up the table. And he's miscued as well. They're both at it, so they're not paying any attention to the tip of the cue. And of course, the other thing also is that these guys never play with the snooker cue, so they're not used to where, you know, they're used to the much bigger pool cue and the bigger tip. They're not used to the snooker cue on that cue ball, which is another reason why they're making mistakes. Or you're saying he plays snooker? Well, we've already seen a miscue from Kristjan. Bankster at it as well. Now, the biggest mistake that's going to happen here is Kristjan's not going to get the cue ball out far enough. He's got to dink this in and get the cue ball out. And like I said, well, he just managed to get into the gap. And that was pretty much a draw and hope that you can get somewhere on the 8 ball. Well, the 8 ball will go. It just goes past, but he's caught the red. Well, no prizes for guessing what's going to happen in a minute here. He should be in big trouble. And he hasn't got the snooker. But now, Bankster's got to be odds-on favourite to have a 2-rack lead. Now, I would have played the one that's by the side pocket first there, because now he's in trouble. I think the red doesn't go past the 8 ball. If it does, it's far too tight. Oh, and that final kiss on the cue ball there with the red. This might kick in. You've got to go to the rail and just catch that 8 ball. Oh, that was a good effort. Well, this rack's now in the balance. Bankster's 2 straight on the red to get across for the other one. So we're going the VP4 route. I think he might have almost got that perfect. So finally Bankster gets that 2-rack lead. Good afternoon to Paul, or good evening, depending where you are in the world, or good morning. So into rack number 9, ball in the break. Problems over by the 8 ball. Now, if he cuts the red into the side, he can nudge onto something here like that. That's perfect. Now the table is there for the taking. The only problem here is that he would have liked to have saw the red that's up top there into the corner. You can't do that, so he's still okay. He's got a shot, but he's stuck to the rail, so he can't do anything other than roll forward. And now there's a perfect opportunity to play the one into the side and come out into the table across and cut the one that's on the right side of the yellow down the rail. I don't know why he's not doing that. Let's have a look. Oh, that's perfect. But he's going to go the other way. I don't think I would have done that. I think I would have taken the one into the side and then took that one down there. Is he coming back for this one and then playing the one into the side to go into the 8 ball? I don't know. Well, he's blocked the pocket. Red hasn't gone in. And, you know, a quick glance at this table, you say, well, Bankster's got to be odds on to be 3 in front here in a minute. And that, well, the red's easy enough to get at, although the 8 ball's been trying to be pushed on top of it. And Kristjan's not going to be doing an awful lot from there. Let's have a look. Well, he's we're getting a silent. Oh no, he's come to life again. I thought he'd got another knock at the door. Oh, I can't remember where John was from. Well, Bankster's got another free shot. Well, he's going to end up in sort of no man's land. Well, I don't think he can hold for this red, so he's got to go down the table and back up and miss the traffic. I think he's going to be okay here. I think that little kiss has done him no harm. And it now looks like Bankster's going to be pulling away here. I think Kristjan's had enough chances to get racks on the board and isn't getting the job done, and not necessarily going about it the right way either. So partly he's been the architect in his own downfall here, Kristjan. Bankster's just going to be that bit better at doing a few more things right than he is wrong, and that's how he's going to win this. So it's a 6-3 lead now to Bankster. Yeah, it's a bloody awful name for a start. Well, Bankster should be dinking the yellow in and trying to get as straight as he can on the other yellow into the side pocket here. That's what he's trying to do. If he can get that one into the side pocket out of the way, then he has a chance of running out. Oh dear. Just caught the knuckle. And well, Kristjan has now opened up the 8-ball with that shot, although the 8-ball's now gone to just as awkward a position. But it won't go in past the yellow up top, and it won't go in obviously past the yellow down the bottom here, so there's work to be done here. Kristjan says, I had a couple of unlucky shots and you runned away immediately. Well, that's not quite how I see it, Kristjan. I would word it, I played too many numpty shots to end up in this position. That's what you've done, not unlucky shots. Shots that you could perhaps take a wee bit more time over before you commit. But it isn't over yet. I mean, the way this game is with these two players, all it takes is a few bad rolls from Bankster. It's up to Kristjan then taking these chances he's going to get. Unfortunately for Kristjan though, next time he comes to the table he's going to be trailing before. Well, that's a damn pawn. Bankster's blasted the cue ball off the table, and now again, this table is not too bad. The only thing is that, well, again, Kristjan's just hit a ball, but those three reds that are just in line with the 8 ball, they're all a problem in how you get to them. Now, Kristjan's committed to the yellows. He's got a similar problem with the one yellow though. Well, he's almost got control of one pocket, although you can get a red in off the back of that yellow easily enough. And Bankster's not really got a shot here. I mean, he can pot the one red. And I don't know whether it... Oh, he's just decided to have a blast. I don't know why he didn't look at potting that red there and trying to maybe just come down here with the cue ball to... He might get lucky and get half decent on that one into the side. Well, the stats aren't going to look pretty for this match, so I won't waste my time looking at the stats at the end of this. The shot percentage will be pretty poor. And Bankster was trying to get that red in, but he's now blocked the yellow, but it's an easy combo. I would think you've got to hit this fairly hard to try and get everything out of the way there. Well, that's certainly got everything out of the way. Oh, now this should be just a little dink onto the yellow, the one that he's next to. Oh, did he have another one up the table there? I never noticed he had another one up the table. I knew he had one in the right hand side. I didn't. He must have had one right over the pocket. That's going to go nowhere. You see, this is where the touch on the shot is so important. You know, that was overhit by a country mile. Because you're trying to keep the cue ball at the top end of the table as much as you can, so you can at least play that yellow in or over the pocket. Well, now what do you do, Kristjan? Just trying to leave it as awkward as you can. That's not too bad. We could see the one over the side, but he hasn't got it. Now, what about trying to cut the yellow onto the red and maybe just get the yellow to finish sort of near the corner pocket? I think there might be just enough room to get the yellow past the 8 ball. Well, he needed to hit it a wee bit harder than that, but it's not blocking the pocket, but at least the ball is in a more favourable position to perhaps pot it, at least, if Bankster's not careful. Well, that's not bad, but a little dink off the edge of the... he's going to... for Kristjan's sake... Well, he's done it again. Kristjan's getting... I don't know what he's doing. Now he's blaming the mouse. Well, that's another big sellout from Kristjan. So, ball in hand in the kitchen, free shot for Bankster, and although he doesn't really need a free shot because everything's on. And from 3 apiece, this match has just got away from Kristjan. Self-inflicted damage, a lot of it. Far too much of it, to be honest, has been self-inflicted damage, giving Bankster these easy opportunities just to take your time and get yourself out. But the 8 ball will be a problem. So he's going to leave that last red as the shot to get in the 8 ball, and that's again a lot easier said than done, because the reliability on the cue ball control here is a bit suspect from both players. And what you want is a straight in red here and just a kill shot, and that should be perfect. Now he's lowering the tip down. Yeah, you see he's getting to that too much. See, even that shot there was just too much bottom in the cue ball, and now he's left it awkward. He just wanted to kill it stone dead. And now Kristjan's got an easy roll in. This is a gift handed to Kristjan. And that's all from what I mentioned earlier before we got to that shot, where all Bankster had to do was stun and kill the cue ball. He had the tip too low in the cue ball, and he got that little bit of stun back. Left a higher angle in the 8 ball, made it more difficult, and sold the rack. And this is where, I mean, I might be sounding that I'm being nitpicky, but these little technical things where you're controlling the tip in the cue ball and how this cue ball reacts is paramount in this game. Even for a simple shot of potting a straight in yellow with the 8 ball being very adjacent, you've got to execute the shot right. And I could see by looking at Bankster's shot that he had the cue tip too low in the cue ball, and when you do that and you hit it at that sort of pace, the cue ball's just going to come back that bit too much. Left the cut a lot more difficult than it could have been, and it gave Kristjan the easy out. Well, I think I would be I'd be cutting that yellow where it is right now. Not that one, the one that's up table. That's the one I would have been playing just to get it in or over the pocket and get it out of the way, because I mean he might do that now. And now the crossover, let's have a look. The crossover would be the shot here. You're going to obviously give up the table, but it's really about the only option I can see is trying to cross this over into the corner. Got to miss the double kiss though. Well, the yellow's still available. The red, let's have a look at that red. The red will go, so there's a bit of pressure on Bankster here to try and get out. If he doesn't get this red in, he'll be leaving Kristjan a shot, although he's got him snookered if it came to it. So this is about getting the job done here with a table where there's not a problem. Does he want to leave that last red as the one to get on the 8 ball? Or does he want to leave the one over the right hand bottom corner pocket? Well, Now he's running the cue ball. Has he got a shot? I don't think so. No shot now. Now he has to get the cover, and he hasn't. So Kristjan's got another chance here. Now, can he avoid hitting the red and get the cue ball out? He doesn't need to hit this hard. Well, he has hit it hard, which has probably worked in his favour because he has taken a big chunk of the red, and now he's got an easy 8 ball for 2 in a row. And like I said, you know, Kristjan's going to get opportunities. And even with that deficit, well, the cue ball's gone again, this time from Bankster and the 8 ball. And Bankster gets to... Now, Steve was talking about that the other night there. The fact that Bankster has broke, he's scratched in the break, and the 8 ball's gone in, and he's done it again. He's gone off the table with the cue ball this time. But Steve was talking about the rules of the game here, where Bankster has scratched in the break, the cue ball's gone in, and then the next thing that's happened is the 8 ball's gone in, and Bankster gets to break again, even though he's committed a foul. But anyway, Kristjan, he's got to play the little cut in the red here. He's got to play the little cut where he is. He can't be playing the one over the side unless... Well, I wouldn't have done that. I would have played the one that was right next to him and just cut it to the pocket, because it was the awkward one to deal with. And now that he's potting the one on the side, and he's also not hit it hard enough, so he's snookered himself in the other red that's up top. Now he's sort of backed into a corner here. Now, you just play the bank up the table. You see, he's playing the cut. I would have played the bank. But he does have control of that top pocket. So this rack can go anyway here. And now he's got another chance to cut this in, and got to get really lucky to get the cue ball out of here and up table to have a sight on this red. Oh, he's had a smack at that. You know, that wasn't really stroked very well, that shot either, was it? It's like a case of being desperate to get the shot over with. But one good thing is the Reds finished fairly decent up the top left hand side, and Bankster has now made it a lot easier for Kristjan with that bump in the yellow, because that's now opened up access to that last red. Oh, I don't know whether he played that. I mean, he obviously played for the pot, but he's ended up getting lucky and leaving Kristjan snookered. Now, the up and down kick here's the shot. Just playing it dead weight though. You know, you've got to get the hit first of all, but you don't need to slam this. Well, that might go in. Well, that's as good as anything. I wonder if Semi-Pro will confirm that that's the correct rules of black ball when that happens, by the way. I need to ask him that. I don't know whether Semi-Pro was in the stream the other night there. But, you know, that incidence there where you break and you scratch and then the 8 ball goes in as well, and it gives you the opportunity to re-break. That can't be right in the proper rules of the game, surely. And if it is correct, then it is. It's a crazy rule. You make a silly shot, and then you end up getting away with it. And meanwhile, Bankster's got himself back into a 3-rack lead. Kristjan's breaking off. Balls have gone in. Table is ugly. It is the correct rule. Well, it's a shitty rule then. That needs fixing. I mean, that's easy enough to rewrite that rule, isn't it? As you know, it can go as an addendum or an addition to the rules on the foul. You know, foul is this, that, and the next thing, except if you scratch in the break and the 8 ball goes in, it's ball in hand to the opponent in the kitchen. That's how it should be. Or at the very worst, it should be the opponent gets to break. And that's an easy fix, that, in that rule. And it's weird that it's been completely overlooked. So, Bankster on the reds. Kristjan with a yellow tied up. Another yellow blocked. I think pretty much into both corner pockets. Yeah. Well, that's done no harm as far as making life easier for Bankster, but he can certainly play the nudge here and just slightly improve his ball set. Well, Kristjan's got the yellow into the side. He's not going to get an awful lot more from it though. Now again, this is a rack that's in the balance. It's all got to do with that. Now Bankster, if he plays this right, he's got to take the one in the right, the one in the left, and then cut that one along the short rail to go for the out. Let's have a look at how he's finished here. Well, it's going to be a dodgy cut from the angle he has, but that's the one he has to play. He's got to play that now. He can't hang about playing something else. He's got to play this right now. This is the only way he's going to win the rack from here. Cue ball's going in the right direction. And Kristjan's got the same problem. I think he's got to cut that yellow along the rail from where he is. Yeah, I think he should have had a go at that yellow from where he was there. He can still get up top and go on it, but he's got to get the right side of it, obviously. And likewise again for Bankster, he's got to cut the red that he's on, the one that's up top. Unless he gets good on the one into the left side. And well, he's fairly straight. There's not a lot he can do here. He's going to have to leave the high cut. Yep. Well, it's still anybody's rack, this. He's hung the red. And again, Kristjan's got a straight choice here. It doesn't matter what choice he makes. He's got to make one of them. That's the most difficult one. And again, is he going to be coming down the right side here? No, that's the problem with playing that yellow that he played. If he'd played this one, he may well have been down the right side for that last yellow. Now, what the hell's happened there? Bankster has a free shot. What did Kristjan do there? Have I missed something altogether there? Did he scratch? Did the cue ball scratch? Is that what happened? Somebody tell me what I missed there. I'm watching it and I missed what the hell happened here. Now this isn't easy either. He must have scratched. Well, anyway, it doesn't matter whatever happened. It's now back to a 4-rack lead, so the mini comeback from Kristjan is all but over. Well, loads of movement in the balls, but nothing doing. 8 balls tied up. 2 yellows over the top corner pockets. And not really... I mean, I think if you thin cut that red that's up in the top right, not the red, the yellow that's in the top right corner pocket, you can certainly thin cut it in and use the cue ball to go to the rail and bump the red and 8 ball out if you're trying to win the rack. Or was it a miscue? Well, that's about the 3rd or 4th miscue from Kristjan, so he hasn't got a hang of this cue at all, whether he does play snooker or not. Well, that may actually be... Well, he's left 1 red on. Now, Bankster's got to be thinking about how to deal with this red and 8 ball. He's trying to have a bump there. Now, if he pots the red that he's on here and comes back up the table, he can maybe get good in the... Well, again, he's not doing it that way. He's going to leave it to the last minute. He's got to cut that one that's off the top rail and then try and spin into the 8 ball in the red. And he's trying to change the laws of physics here by creating angles that aren't there, doing it at the wrong time. Had he played to get good on that red up top, then he could have cut it and tried to get a bump. Well, the table's not any good for either of the 2 players where the 8 ball sat. And well, if I'm Kristjan, I wouldn't be playing that yellow over the pocket. I'd be just bumping through and trying to keep the cue ball behind the other yellow, just to make it as awkward as possible for Bankster. Bankster now is going to try and play a dinky little shot to try and duck behind his red in the rail. He hasn't got there. Well, you know where this is heading. Unless something disastrous happens for Bankster here, Kristjan's going to end up losing the rack. He's finally stopped potting balls, but he's going to have to kick at this yellow in a second or 2, I would think. Well, I think Bankster's... It's a sort of nothing shot he's just played there. I mean, Kristjan doesn't want to pot this yellow if he can help it. He's got to just hang off potting it. Well, that at least stops Bankster seeing one of the reds. Now, Bankster could bump his other red out of the way, but if he does that, then he's committed. And he's just messed it up even more. Well, again, keep the yellow on the table for the time being. It's even more difficult to get to the 8 ball. And Kristjan's got the right idea, and trying to force Bankster into maybe making a mistake and bumping something a bit too hard and bringing the 8-ball out. He hasn't done that though. So overcut the yellow, trying to duck in behind it. Well, that's now changed things. It's changed it for Bankster, because Bankster now has the game. He's got the rack 1 if he can get the first decent red, because that red that's blocking the 8-ball, that's easily dealt with if you can get on it, and that's a disaster. And that rack has just petered out with that unforced error from Kristjan again. So this is just a little dead weight roll, just a dead weight, and then pop that red down table to get to double figures. Well, it's looking like it's only going to be a matter of time until Bankster gets over the line. Kristjan's break gives him a couple of balls, and he may well be forced into going for the yellows here, because I don't think he's got any other particular shot, and that's no good. That's now opened up the top right hand corner pocket for Bankster, and the table's at his mercy, and he should be out. Again, he's sent that to the rail too soon. They go to the rail too soon at that pace, they're never going into the pocket. Well, Kristjan, it's a good table for getting out for him as well. And now he's got to play the cut, find the gap, avoid a scratch in the side pocket. And he hasn't found the gap, but he's still got a shot though. Oh, it's gone in the last breath there. Well, again, just a dead weight 8-ball. Comfortably knocks it in, so another rack for Kristjan, but it's still a long road back, an alternate break. But maybe not so much with these two guys, because let's face it, the rack's up for grabs for both of them. Neither of them are playing good enough to be running enough balls to have a straight run out. In fact, I doubt whether there's actually been a straight run out in this match. So the 8-ball has gone in, and another re-rack and a re-break. And one ball has gone in. And as usual, it's not exactly looking particularly great up top, although that little nudge in the red there has improved it slightly as far as Kristjan goes, but Bankster's committed to the yellows. Little cut down into the corner. Forcing that in to get the cue ball out of there, which was the right thing, but again, the pace and the line, the pace was good enough to get the cue ball out, but the line was no good in terms of giving that ball a chance to go in. Right, just a quick reminder to any latecomers that came along this afternoon. We've got the match tonight between Albinario and MC Clarkey. Albinario from Sweden, Matt from the UK, and that goes ahead at 7:30 GMT, which would be 2:30 Eastern Time, 11:30 Pacific, and that is a round 3 match, so I will be here for that tonight. We've got Fast Eddie against Real Poland Power, Stub in brackets, and that is tomorrow afternoon at 5 PM or noon Eastern, 9 AM Pacific. I'll be there for that as well. Then the next match I won't be there for. I might be home in time to catch the end of it, but Cobra plays Linus on Tuesday at 9 AM in the morning GMT, and then the last match, which we've been there for a couple of days now, LS3 and Semi-Pro, is next Sunday at 7 PM. Haven't looked at the 3 cushion schedule. I don't know whether there wasn't any matches on it last night. Meanwhile, Bankster at the table. And got to come down on the right side of this 8 ball if he can. Angle he's got in the yellow I don't think is particularly great. Well, it was good enough. He could just drop it in dead weight, and now he's got a nice angle. He's just got to come off the yellow. And that's much better. And he should be just 2 away from the next round. Well, I would have always said at the start of this match that Bankster was always going to be the strong favourite. But I think at the end of the day, I think Bankster hasn't really felt any pressure either. I think he's got a rough idea at the level that Kristjan can play at, so he's not really been under a lot of pressure. But of course, the big difference for Bankster is, if we look at the bracket and we look down at the bottom where they are in round 2, the bad news for Bankster is he's going to be up against One Pocket Slim. And if there's anything we can guarantee in that match is that Bankster ain't going to have it anywhere near as easy or comfortable as he's had this afternoon. He's going to find there's a big step up in that match. Well, Bankster's managed to get the yellow in with the aid of a red. Played the bank, he missed the bank the first side, then it clips a red and goes into the other side pocket. Now here's a table for Kristjan to get another rack in the board. Well, I think this red is too straight. Well, he needs a little kiss. He hasn't got it, but he's fine. It's came out good. Now, how's he going to be in this last red? That's anybody's guess. Now, he needs to just settle down here and get lined up and take his time. Watch the pace in the cue ball, because this cue ball's heading south. And he's going to be snookered. Oh no, he's at a nudge. That's a bonus. I thought he was going to roll behind the yellow. And he's got out, so that was well done. But it's all about missed opportunities for Kristjan. He could be right on, there's no doubt whatsoever, he could be right on Bankster's tail here. 8 balls going in again. Going back to that, and now Bankster's done it again. Bankster must be amping the cue ball. He must be amping on the break, and you don't need to. The one thing you stay away from in this game is amp. You do not use amplify in this game whatsoever. Black balls, no way can you use amp on a break. It's pointless. The balls are going to split. No problem at all. You don't need to use amp. He has to be using amp. You can't be bumping the cue ball off the table 2 or 3 times during a match if you ain't putting amplify on. Yeah, I'm surprised that going back to that rule about breaking off, scratching the cue ball and potting the 8 ball. I'm surprised that if that's the rule in reality, then why has somebody never questioned the damn thing and they've put it right? They've come up with a simple solution. That's what's puzzling me. It's just crazy that you should have the player that fouls on the break given a second life and allowed to break again. Well, a lot of work here for Kristjan to do. Well, what do you do here? I mean, you've got a dead set combo up top here for Bankster. Well, at least Kristjan's going to be coming back to the table at the moment, unless Bankster goes all out for the break on those 2 yellows right now, and now he's in control. That's worked out very nice. Well, that match with John Boo will do as a warm up to the main event tomorrow. Then, Coldest Pillow. Bedhead says he shoots 100% pace all the time without amp. What are you talking about in black ball? Black ball in particular. I don't think, you know, mouse sensitivity. I don't think is. I don't think even if you have a low sensitivity in your mouse in this game in black ball, I don't think you need to bother about it. I mean, most people have a mouse now. You know, I've got 2 or 3 mice where they've got DPI settings where you just hit the button and you can get a faster pace on a shot, and you don't need to use the amp at all. Well, there's unless Kristjan can come up with some sort of fluke here, there's an inevitability about this rack, isn't there? And I'll tell you one thing, the one thing that Bankster doesn't want to do is to go for the run out here and have to pot that last yellow over the corner. Oh, now Bankster's at it. This is just getting crazy. This is just going completely dumb. Now Kristjan's got ball in hand. He's decided to play from position and hoping that he gets good on the 8 ball, and he hasn't. When he should have just potted the yellow over the pocket. You know, again, an instance here where the player's he's not fully compos mentis and thinking about what he's doing. All he had to do was pot the yellow, open up the pocket, and then drop the 8 ball in. No, it doesn't make any difference, because the cue can only go at a certain top speed. Whatever the top speed is for a break cue, if it's a break cue in that sense. Compos mentis. That's Latin. Go and Google it, it'll tell you. Just type in compos mentis and Wikipedia will tell you what it means. And meanwhile, Bankster should be on the hill. Well, there's another rack that's gone south for Kristjan simply because he just he hasn't got his head screwed on. Well, welcome to VP Monster. It'll be welcome and goodbye. I'm going for my dinner after this. Well, I'm raging about them using amp in the break because you don't bloody well need to. That's my point. You don't really need to. I mean, put it this way, Bedhead. Bankster has taken the cue ball off the table at least 3 times, and all I can think is he must be using amp. Or he might be one of these that's switching the DPI in his mouse to break off. You just hit it, you know, plain ball. You don't need to. The one thing you don't want to do is slam the balls. You just want to break them open, and you don't need to do that in this game. I know that if you break in black ball just a normal break, and you hit the balls with the pace of the break cue as it is without amp, you're not going to put the cue ball off the table. So the only other answer to that query is then Bankster must be using amp, or he switches the DPI in his mouse to too high a setting, and the cue flies through, and then it's just the same as using amp. Well, there's the pace in the shot, plus it can be the Q-tip. Yes, I'll grant you that. But then again, if you've done it twice and then you do it a third time, when's common sense going to kick in and tell you that? You know, Bankster's just as much as a numpty for doing it 3 times. But look at the amount of miscues we've had in this match too. I mean, neither of them are paying any much attention to where their Q-tip is in the first place. We've had miscues galore. You know, fundamental basic mistakes by not setting yourself up for the shot. Well, I fully expect the standard to improve later on tonight, or there will be questions asked. Well, the cue ball's got to do a bit of travelling here to get anywhere if he's potting that yellow up top. Yellow down the table here's no good, that's not going anywhere. That's blocked with the 2 reds. Well, I'm playing the thin cut here. In or over the pocket, you're probably going to end up potting Bankster's red ball. So at least it's forcing Bankster to run out for the win. So he should be taking ball in hand in the kitchen and getting that red off the rail there. He should be getting rid of that. Well, of course it's numptiness. That's my point. There's been far too much of that in this match, and the two of them have been guilty of it. No, it's not. Just a foul. So that's the free shot gone. That's the red now improved, and the tables just want to be run out. Uh-oh. Well, I'll tell you something. Full marks to Bankster for trying to mess up this opportunity. He's doing his best to make a balls of it. Now he's got to get the right angle in this red to be able to drop through in the 8 ball. And he's fine, he should be fine. Just dink this in and send the 8 into the corner. Well, I'm glad this is over, because it has not been memorable. It's been memorable for the wrong reasons, but Bankster goes through, and like I say, the wake-up call is now, because Bankster won't get anywhere near one pocket slim if he plays like he has done this afternoon. But like I said, also, he hasn't really been forced into playing a game, because there's not been a lot coming back at him. But Kristjan needs to look at that score and think, look at how many racks I could have had. He had loads of opportunities galore. He could have been easily double figures and more had he taken them. But Bankster goes through 13 racks to 7. Final reminder, Bankster now plays one pocket slim in round 3, and on the schedule I'll be back later on for the match between Albinario and MC Clarkey. That's at 7:30 GMT, and then of course, as Cold as Pillow mentioned, tomorrow afternoon we've got the match between John Boo and Cold as Pillow. So I'll be here a bit earlier. We'll cover that match at the start, and then we'll join Fast Eddie and Real Poland Power as soon as it starts, because that starts an hour later at 5 PM, and then the other matches to follow next week. So that is it, folks. This was unexpected. I'm going to go and get my dinner now. I'm going to thank you all for your company, and I hope you can join us later on. Now remember, if you can't and you want to catch up in any of the matches, they'll always be on my YouTube channel. There is a playlist for this tournament, and I'll go and add this match to that playlist in a minute or two. But I hope to see you later on for the big match tonight, and until then, I'll bid you good afternoon and see you later. Thanks for